Well, hey, everybody, you're looking at the two most important ladies in St. Mary Parish for voting. We're just a little over 2 months away from voting for a new president. So we're going to speak to Miss Terry Folkard, the St. Mary Parish Registrar of Voters, and Miss Raquel Baker, the Deputy Registrar of Voters in St. Mary Parish, and they're going to fill you in on all of the important information you need to know so that you can go out and make a correct choice, your candidate for President of the United States. So we're going to start off with Miss Terry, who's going to tell us some exciting news about what's happening on the west end of the parish. I'm going to give you the mic right now, Miss Terry, and let everybody know.
Thank you, Howard, for getting this information out. As many know, we have added an additional early voting site in the General area, which it's really four corners. It's the West St. Mary Community Center there, to add to what we're already doing in Franklin and Morgan City. In that area, most of the voters there will be able to stop and cast their vote and not have to travel all the way to Franklin. It covers the Four Corners, it covers the Glencoe area, it covers the Sharonton area, the Generate area. As many know, most of the time the bridges are out, and then we have a lot of construction going on in that area. So as a safety precaution, this will help most of the voters to stay in the area and cast their vote at the West St. Mary Civic Center. I think it's on LA 318, I want to say. So if you are in that area, or if you work out of town, such as New Iberia, Lafayette, Broussard, Youngsville area, and you're coming back into town and it's before 6 p.m., you'll be able to stop in right off the highway and go into the West St. Mary Civic Center and cast your vote as well. Any location, let me just make that clear. You do not have to live in that area to vote in that area for early voting. Early voting only. If you work on the east side of the parish, you can go to the Morgan City location. If you work in the Franklin area or surrounding area, you can come to the courthouse and vote as well. Whichever site you want to vote, you can stop in at that early voting site and cast your ballot. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what area you're coming from. Stop at either location and cast your vote. And that's the exciting news. I am very happy to announce that that is one of the additional sites that we've added to our parish. I think it's a win for the parish, especially to those citizens and voters in that area. Only St. Mary Parish voters, only St. Mary Parish voters will be able to exercise their right in either location. Also, some important dates. We are 76 days away from November 5th. The important dates are the last day to register to vote, either coming into our office or by mail, is October the 7th. If you go to govote.com, the last day will be October 15th. That's the GoVote app that Ms. Raquel will be explaining here shortly. If you think that you will be out of town or you won't be able to cast your vote on November 5th, there's a form you can fill out to request a ballot. If you know that you're going to be away at school, this is for the college kids. If you're thinking you're going to be offshore or away working or caring for a loved one out of town or temporarily somewhere out of town, please contact us or go to the Go Vote app and request a mail ballot. You have until November 1st to request a ballot.
What about if you're in the military?
Military, you can request a ballot. We cater to our military veterans. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked that question, Howard. The military has until the date of the election, November 5th, to return their ballot.
Wow.
So if we do not receive it prior to the election and they want to submit their ballot on the day of the election, we will accept that military ballot.
And does it have to be faxed, or can you take a photo of it?
It has to be either faxed, emailed back to us by mail, or in person.
Now, would you take an email of a photo of the ballot?
No, it's instructions. They have instructions for a military overseas process.
What about if you're working offshore?
If you're working offshore, that's what I was just explaining. They need to request. We have a ballot request form. They need to tell us the address where they want us to either mail their ballot, fax their ballot, or email their ballot. And there's instructions on how to return it back to our office, and they have until November 4th, the day before the election, to get it back into our office.
All right, now I'm going to ask, I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. I'm working offshore, and I realize, hey, I forgot to vote. What happens?
And the election is over?
No, the election is getting close.
They have until November 1st to request. If
But if I'm going to be stuck offshore when election day is going to pass, and I haven't voted yet, then I won't be able to vote?
Well, if they don't meet those deadlines to request the ballot, it takes us time to submit the form or to submit the ballot to wherever they're requesting the ballot from. However, if they have it back to us, again, like I said, if they have it back into our office before November 4th, we will accept that ballot by 4:30 p.m. No matter if they request it by fax, email, or mail. If it's back in our office by November 4th, before 4:30, we will, those commissioners that will come in and start assessing the ballots and doing the checks and balances of the ballots, they will count that vote. So it's very, very important to stay on top of those important dates of the last day to register, the last day to request the ballot, the dates that the ballot should be back in our office, because every situation has a deadline. And it's very, very important. This is a very, very important election, and everyone should take this election very serious. We're not here to tell you exactly who to vote for. We are nonpartisan, but however, we're here to make the process easier for you. I don't know if anyone's been following my Facebook. I've been trying to put as much information out there as possible. Another thing I want to touch on, many people may have noticed that names have been placed in the local paper here All of those names are people who have not voted within 2 federal elections. What's going to happen, and I didn't count how many people, someone told me it was over 3,000 voters. What's going to happen if you do not take this serious? If you think that your name is in that paper and you're going to show up at your precinct and get ready to vote, they're getting ready to purge that system out. You will not be able to vote. So if you saw your name in the paper, or if someone called you and said, hey, I see your name in the paper, that's because you either missed 2 federal elections and you're in jeopardy of losing your voting rights, or you have not updated your address. It's just like when you're moving. You should change your address, your voter registration address, because it is important, because your districts change, your representatives change. You no longer will be in a certain representative's district. So that's why it's very, very important that when you move, you need to let us know so that we can put you in the right district. And also, leave a phone number, because a lot of times we call the voter to try to get as much information as possible to update, to keep your status updated, and we no longer have a good number. So call us, go online, go to govote.com, check your voter status, and find out exactly where you are. Because if you are inactive right now, you will not be able to vote in the November 5th election. You will not. And I'll repeat, you will not be able to vote in the November 5th election.
And once again, if you are inactive, you have to come here to re-register.
Or go on govote.com, go online. I think the state of Louisiana has the most highest ranking in voter integrity. The govote.com, we were the first state to come up with this app, and it's just to make it easier. You don't have to come into the office to do anything. However, I must say that when you do change something, you need a Louisiana identification card or a Louisiana driver's license, because at the end, it's going to ask you for your license or ID number. There's an audit code in the center of that license. That will be the 4-digit number they're going to request to process it. If you don't have that, it's going to come into what we call a hopper queue, and we will have to send you out a form to sign. So if you don't have a Louisiana driver's license or ID, you will have to come into the office and process your voter registration information. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you go to the DMV, there is what's called a voter's identification for voting purpose only. It is free of charge. It is free of charge. You go in and you let them know, hey, I just need identification for voting purposes only. Let them know that, and it's free of charge. So it is very important. A lot of things are being made easy, such as the new site, the free identification, the Go Vote app. It doesn't take you 5-10 minutes to do it, and it's very, very imperative that everyone exercise their right. It is the most sacred right that we have in United States of America. And do your research. Go out, tell your family members, tell your friends, and do what's best for our state.
So we want to sum up what you had to say real quick. The big news, of course, is that the West St. Mary's Civic Center is going to be an early voting site, which means even if you're driving, you live in Amelia, but for some reason you are on your way to New Iberia, you want to vote, you could just pull off the side of the road to go vote at the West St. Mary's Civic Center, and you're good to go. So now we're going to talk to Ms. Raquel Baker, who's going to give us a tour on her visual prop that she has here of the Go Vote app, which, as you can see, the big title says that you can load it free on your smartphone. So I'm going to give her the mic, and she's going to tell us all about this app.
Thank you, Howard. The easiest way to get our citizens to update the information on their voter registration, to register to vote, to request a mail ballot, any of those things. If you want election results, if you want to know where your polling place is, all of those things can be found on the app. The app is very user-friendly, and it's Go Vote, G-E-A-U-X, spelled the Cajun way, govote.com. It is the easiest way for you to get information. If you go to the Secretary of State's website, you can go into the voter portal, but the Secretary of State's website has all of the information that you need to be an informed citizen. It has all of the forms that you need. If you're not very tech savvy, you can print the form and bring it in if you need to. Okay, it's very easy to use. We want all of our citizens to have the opportunity to vote. We went through redistricting over the summer. Voter information cards were sent out to every voter in St. Mary Parish. If you did not receive a voter information card in the mail during the summer, chances are you haven't updated your address, we had the wrong address on file, and your voter information card was returned to us. It is vital that you update your address on your voter registration, whether you do it on the app or you come into our office and make those changes before the deadline so you have the opportunity to vote.
Okay. And once again, can you reiterate to us about how important it is to get in contact with you guys if you have not voted in 2 federal elections?
Okay, so a lot of things kind of happened during the summer. If you haven't voted in 2 federal elections, you have become inactive in our system. Okay? You need to fix that. Go online or come into our offices. We have an office here in Franklin in the courthouse on the 3rd floor. We have an office in Morgan City on 3rd Street in the tax building. Take care of it so you have the opportunity to vote. Also, a lot of voters have become inactive because we don't know where to find you. We've sent things out in the mail and they've been returned to us. And so, you know, our instructions are, after so many attempts, you become inactive. So it's important that our people have the opportunity to vote, and so make sure your information is accurate in our system.
Let me ask another question, which I guess is a little personal question. But if you're a lady and you have gotten married and your name has changed, or you've gotten divorced and your name has changed, how would that affect your voting availability? Would you have to get in contact with you to change your name, or would you still be listed as a voter under whatever name?
It is going to depend. If I get married and I change my name and I go to the DMV and update my driver's license to my married name, or if I get divorced and I update my driver's license back to my maiden name, that information is electronically sent to us and it's been taken care of. But if you want to come into the office and take care of it, you need to provide us with some type of identification stating, why you're changing it, and have the documentation readily available for us to verify it.
Okay. And then if I'm a St. Mary Parish native, but I've lived outside of St. Mary Parish for 10 years, but I'm going to come and check to see if my name is still on the roll, or should I haven't lived here for 10 years. The last time I voted was here, but I haven't lived here for 10 years. I'm still going to have to come in and check, right?
You can go online and check.
Okay.
You can go online, but you can come into the office.
And I'm not making that up.
I know you're not making it up.
Yeah.
Yes, you can come into the office and we can verify that. It depends on where your homestead is, your homestead exemption is.
All right. Okay. And Terry?
And- Yeah, I also want to touch on those citizens, because I've received many calls in regards to people who have moved out of state or to another parish, but didn't contact us, nor have they contacted the state or parish. If you no longer live here in St. Mary Parish, please, we can't go in and cancel you without a backup. You have to send in something stating that you reside in another state or reside in another parish, or you can go to that parish where you're currently residing, and then they'll do the transfer automatically. I can't stress that enough, because I get a lot of calls from parents or siblings saying, oh, my daughter hasn't lived here in over 20 years. Well, the reason she's still on our roster is because she did not change her voter registration. She did not cancel. We have a form that's called cancellation of voter registration. We need to have a signature on that form before we can do any cancellations. Secretary of State is a stickler to us going into the system to add someone or take away someone without having a backup. So the backup would be the cancellation form with that signature of the voter. Also, I get a lot of calls about my mother passed or my father passed. You have no worries there. We have all of the funeral homes automatically sends us the obituaries. That's our backup to take them out of the system. Also, we have DHH, who sends us another backup that Raquel usually takes care of. And our third source is the coroner's office, Dr. Eric Melanson. He sends us a report once a month, I think, Raquel. And once we receive that report, they automatically comes out of our system. So there is no human way possible someone that is deceased can go to a poll, and that someone can go and vote for a deceased person, because we have too many mechanism in place or resources in place. We have the funeral home, we have DHH, and we have Dr. Eric Melanson. And I want to thank Dr. Eric Melanson publicly, because when I reached out to his office in regards to that, he and his team came in and met with us, and we work hand in hand with the coroner's office. So we do not have people that's on our roster that's deceased, that someone can go and vote in their place. We do not have that here in St. Mary Parish. Thanks to Dr. Eric Melanson for that.
Before we go, I got two questions I want to ask you. I feel like I'm on Stump the Registrar of Voters, but we're going to see. these two things have actually happened to me. I'd have voted for you, but my registration is still by my mama's house, and so I vote in Patterson, and you just running in Morgan City. Now I know we have a new governor, so is there anything that is now instituted that even though I'm living in Morgan City, I'm still registered in Patterson? Are they going to throw my vote out, or can I still go to where my mama votes and vote in Patterson?
Unfortunately, they can still go to where their mom resides. They can only have one residence. If they say they stay with their mom 2-3 days out of the week, and they want to list that as their resident, they only can have one resident, domicile resident. We are not the resident police. No, we're not going to knock at your door and say, "Hey, you don't live here." That's not for us to do. We would hope that people will be honest and do the right thing if they move, change their address so that they can be in the right district. But however, if Sally says she resides at her mother's house 3 days out of the week, and she wants to stay listed at her mother's residence, we cannot stop her because she's only registered at one address.
Let's talk about, because this is another group of folks who are anxious to vote. Let's talk about persons who have just really are re-entering the system or re-entering life after serving time in prison.
Mm-hmm.
How can they vote?
Well, they need to contact their probation and parole. And believe it or not, Howard, we've had multiple people who have served their time. They brought in their discharge letters from their probation officer. It has to be signed and sealed, and they need to contact the district attorney's office in New Iberia or wherever they were on probation. Contact their probation officer, ask them to receive a discharge letter. If they're no longer on probation, they are eligible to re-enter into society to get registered to vote. Just bring the documentation. That's our backup.
To us, and we will get them reinstated.
Okay. Now, what do you have to say to those folks? And again, I'm not making this up. This is a serious question. Someone who's, let's say that they haven't paid their child support, or someone that hasn't showed up for court, and they don't want to vote because they feel like if they vote, they could be arrested because they are going to, whoever's going to find where they're voting at.
This office is not an office where we police what you have done or what you have done in your past. Another myth, and I'll say this: oh, they may pick me for jury duty. That's a myth. That's a myth. I mean, granted, they may pick you for jury duty, but at the same time, it's not it's not going to be because you voted. If you have a Louisiana license or a Louisiana identification card, they're going to pick you anyway. So voting is not the only option that they pick you for jury duty. But if you haven't paid your child support, or if you no one will be here waiting for you to arrest you or to track you down. I can promise you that. No one will be here to do such thing as that.
All right, and one more question, and this one's on party lines. If you're an independent or you're a libertarian, but you happen to like the Republican candidate or you happen to like the Democratic candidate, will you be able to vote?
Yes. The answer is yes. You can vote of your choice. If you want to vote Republican, if you want to vote
Even though you're another party.
if you're a Democrat and you want to vote Republican, you can vote Republican. Or if you're a libertarian, or if you're no party at all, you can pick whichever candidate you want. There's only one election that caters to it's the Republican and the Democrat, and that's the preference. And we've already went through that. So for this election, no matter what party you are registered as, all candidates will be on your ballot, and you have the right to choose whichever candidate you want to be your representative. It doesn't matter. All we ask, I say this all the time, and a lot of people say you need to get registered to vote. My thing is, when you get registered to vote, actually go out and vote. We're doing all we can to make it easier, to make it accessible for you. This is very, very important. This is a very important election. All elections are important, but usually your congressional and your presidential elections are your most important elections. We have a few props that's on the ballots as well. It won't take you 10 minutes to go inside the booth. Do your due diligence. Exercise your right. Do what's right. And it's over.
And if you have the Go Vote app, you can go and look at a sample ballot before you actually go into
Absolutely.
the voting booth.
And you can actually bring that, and you can bring that sample ballot. When you go into the Go Vote app, there's going to be it's going to say my sample ballot. If you would like to print that ballot, your sample ballot, no one can stop you from going inside the booth and using your sample ballot, because that ballot is catered just to you. Now, don't leave out and give it to your neighbor. Your neighbor may be in another district, because you could live on one side of the street and be in one district, in say District 4, and your neighbor across the street could be in District 5. So you can't share your sample ballot unless you're living in the same household and you all live together, and it's it's the same resident, same home. Then you can share that sample ballot. But if your sister or your brother who lives 2-3 blocks away, you cannot share your sample ballot with them, because they could be in a total different district, and it could be confusing. So I don't want you to think that everything on my ballot is on Raquel's ballot, because we live in 2 different areas. Again, if I live on one side of the street, just because we're on the same street, and she lives on the opposite side of the street, she's in District 4, I'm in District 5. So her ballot won't look like my ballot. Pull your own sample ballot up. You can take it into the poll, take it to the polls with you. It's so easy. Do your research. If you need us to pull a par for you, we can pull a par and show you exactly if you vote yes, this would happen. If you vote no, this would happen. We offer that as well. Call us, come by, pick up something, but exercise your right to vote and do what's right.
I lied. Here's the last question. I have a disabled grandmother or grandfather, and I help them with their paper ballot or their mail-in ballot. I know the laws have changed about that, so can you explain that?
Absolutely. One family member, and this is two laws that change. One, you must be 18 years of old to assist and sign as a witness. Back prior to the laws changing, the House bill changing, anyone could witness a ballot. Now you have to be 18 years of age to be a witness. Another thing, we get a lot of people that comes in with 3 and 4 ballots to try to turn in. That law has changed. You will not, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna apologize up front. We're gonna for my staff and myself. We can only accept 1 ballot from you. That is that law that has changed. You cannot bring your mom and your dad's ballot in. You
About my mom and my neighbor that lives
can't do it. 1 ballot. 1 ballot per person. If you have 2 elderly parents that live in the household, 1 child may need to bring moms and another person needs to bring dad. You can't come in and say, I have my mom and dad's ballot. And we have quite a few people who does that. I have to stress, you can only bring 1 ballot. And don't try to go to Morgan City, because we cross-reference over here. Don't try to say I'm going to bring my mom's to Franklin and my dad's to Morgan City, because they're going to know exactly who came and brought what ballot into this office. So please get a game plan, like, come up with a witness. If you feel like you don't have a witness, we will be more than happy for you to bring your ballot into our office, fill your ballot out here, come to the desk, and we can witness it as you filling your own ballot out yourself. We can witness it, but no one else, 2 or 3, one person can't bring 2 or 3 ballots in. It's only 1 ballot per person. So we will cross-reference the branch office in Morgan City.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for taking time out of your day to give us information. I'd like to come back when it gets a little closer so that you can show us how to fill out a paper ballot. Would that be okay?
That would be great. As a matter of fact, I got my confidential assistants who will be more than happy, Ms. Morgan Martinez, John Fella Martinez. She does a great job with keeping up with the ballots. She's an expert at it. I tell her all the time. She has her hands full, and she stays on top of the witnesses and curing the ballot. If you need the ballot cured, she does a great job doing it. So what better person to explain it than the person who does it every single day.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, and give everybody your phone number in case someone has questions.
Sure. Here we have 3 lines. It's the courthouse, 337-828-4100. You can either dial extension 360. That's Morgan. That's Raquel. 362 is Morgan, and 363 is me. Again, it's 360 is Raquel Baker. 362 is Morgan John Fella, and 363 is myself. So either one of us will answer if I'm at lunch or if I'm out of the office. This staff is well knowledgeable on exactly what to do and how to do it. They can give you a wealth of information on what you need to be doing. So give us a call. stop by our office, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions.